What's going on, Vern? We've got you here right off the hop. We tried to get you last week. It didn't work. Second time is a charm. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's the Midwest life's kind of nice, but sometimes when you're out in the middle of nowhere, you do not have internet service. So here it is.
Awesome, man. We got you. How excited are you overall watching Road to the Title Season 3, seeing guys get up there, show themselves, and get some new blood into the organization?
It's what we need. I mean, it just keeps showing that we're building and getting bigger stuff. And the personalities, man, it is a roller coaster on this season. I mean, they are angry all the time.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, we definitely want to have a balance of, seeing stuff in the house. We've got a ton of fights this time, both in the house as well as up on stage. We had some guys, obviously, in the light heavyweight division. We just finished off Luke Simon versus Alan Klingbeil. What do you think about Alan, a veteran who's been around the middle of the rank of the division that you're in, taking the opportunity to go on the show? Is that a smart move for his career or not?
I think it is. This early in the game, every opportunity you're given, if you don't take it, I mean, I think it's a miss. As the sport grows and you become a more, it's a veteran sport, and there's, then you have to build your way back up. I think, you can take some time off and but as we're growing right now, I mean, if they called me up tomorrow and they're like, hey, Vern, we need you in Abu Dhabi, I'm going to be there. Like, I'm not going to hesitate. So I think it's a good move, regardless of the outcome. It's a great move.
Yeah. So, I mean, are you confirming, I guess, that you haven't been called for Abu Dhabi at this point?
I have not. But
Gotcha.
you know me, I don't back down from anything. So, I mean, they could call me the day before and I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll be there.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone believes that, you're the number one contender in line for a title shot. With the fights that they've announced, it's pretty safe to say we're going to get those 2 title fights. We'll get John Davis defending his belt against Isaiah Quiones, and we're going to get the crazy Hawaiian versus Dumpling. But there is a match in the light heavyweight division, Austin Turpin versus Russell Rivera, 2 guys that I mean, this is going to be one hell of a grudge match. What did you think when you heard this match announced?
Honestly, I didn't think Turpin deserved it. I thought they should have gave it to Klingbeil, should have gave it to anyone else but him. And not because he's, a good competitor, but sometimes you need punished, for what you're doing. I mean, he's missed weight twice. I mean, and then you get to go to Abu Dhabi. Yeah, I get he's like, the internet loves him because he's a jackass. But, other than that, you still got to come perform. If you don't perform and be a jackass, you can't do that. But if you're not performing and you're a jackass, to me, it just doesn't make any sense. But, kudos to him. I guess getting a lot of fans and yelling, hooping, and hollering works out for him. So.
Yeah, I mean, he gets there at light heavy. Do you think he makes weight this time?
I will guarantee you he makes weight because they won't let him on the plane unless he's 210 pounds. I will bet money on it. If there's a betting odds on it, like how much he weighs getting on the plane, yeah, they're going to make sure. They'll probably fly him out the week before to be at UFC and be like, all right, this is what you get to eat. This is what you get to eat. They're going to make sure.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. How do you see this one going? Because I know you know these guys both very well.
Oh man, Russell's got a hell of a hit on him. Turpin better wake that chin up. He better figure something out because. But I mean, we've seen Russell get knocked down pretty good. So I think if they both don't foul, everything's good. And maybe if they kind of realize they may have to back off the power so they don't foul or anything like that, we might get a 3-round match out of that.
Yeah, I mean, hard to say. Russell doesn't seem to take power off anything. He seems to want to blow the head off everybody who's in front of him. So we'll see. But I seen you out there in Vegas doing a podcast there at Plaza. Plaza seems to take care of you, my man. What's been going on, and did you enjoy your time out there?
Yes, Plaza's been great to me. Me and the CEO Jonathan, we've become friends. Yeah, it's gonna be my new place, the Plaza Hotel. He's just very personable. I don't know how to explain it. He is just super nice. He hooked me up with those tickets. We got on the podcast. We went to Oscars. Everything about him, it's kind of I just love the aura of the hotel. Everything's there. I'm right next to Fremont. Me and Jonathan have slowly become friends, and I'm gonna be with the Plaza and for as long as I can. They're great.
Awesome, man. That's great to hear. Ding, over to you, my man.
Vern, a quick one for you in the spirit of time, man. I think you've shaken up the world of power slap in a unique way. Obviously, now the rhetoric surrounding you is kind of the guy who fought his way back, right? You had a couple shortcomings, and now you're back at the top. Seemingly, you're sitting at number one in light heavyweight. Seemingly, the next guy for the championship, the champion Wolverine himself, has said you make the most sense next. What do you attribute that change to, right? Because realistically, and this is just me again speaking on kind of what the rhetoric was. It was like Vern's chin is gone, but we see up there you get hit by a guy that's not TKO'd the champion, dropped the champion. Sure, it was a heavyweight, whatever you want to say. He's knocked out a bunch of guys, and you stand there toe to toe with the guy. Not only do you take his hits, but you also get him out of there. What do you attribute that comeback to?
Honestly, it's just experience, and I'm fortunate that when I talk to Erica and Frank, and them, and I'm like, hey, I go just trust me, like I needed the hits, I needed to figure it out, and as you progress, you realize, hey, I got to tense, like this is what I got to do, and I've changed. Short of my hit, like short of hitting people, I keep that the same because it's working great, but like receiving the hit, I did so much stuff different in the first one. It's like, okay, I'm gonna lean on my left foot, so when he hits me, it rocks me over, and that didn't work. So it progressed in the fact that like me physically taking the hits, and as soon as I took Delvin's hit, I was like, I got this. Because if anyone should have knocked me out, it's that guy. He is the hardest hitter I've ever been hit by in MMA and any sport. Like I'm upset that he's not going against Turpin because Delvin's an animal. He's gonna be like me. I knocked him out. He's gonna progress. He's gonna figure out, hey, this is what I gotta do. So and also it's a mental thing too, because I think I told you, Corey, after I beat Bear Bennett, because I was like, they're like, what was it? And I was like, it's like the UFC, you dip below 500, you're not sticking around. So I was at that cusp, 2-2, and I had to break past it.
Yeah, and then last one real quick, since you mentioned it, do you think you see Austin Turpin again sometime down the line?
Oh yeah, if I keep winning, he wins this next one. I mean, if he comes back and beats Russell, and I do great, and I keep going, yeah, they'll do it. I mean, people want it. I mean, it'll come around. Yeah, we'll see each other again. It'll be the same outcome, but we'll see each other.
Awesome, man. Glad to get you on. It seems like we've been dodging each other, for the last couple of weeks. Kathy Klingbeil match would be interesting. Obviously,
it would be.
Alan
Alan
Klingbeil comes up short tonight, so he's got to fight his way back. He's got a little bit of work to do, but definitely I thought that was an interesting fight, and I think most of the people did. But again, thank you so much for joining us, man. Glad we were able to get you on. And we're looking forward to seeing you up there. If it's not at 9, obviously we know 10 is December 6th, and we know 11 is January 30th. So we're looking forward to some fight news coming from you very, very soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vern. Take care, my brother.
All right. Peace.
All right, Corey, moving on, man. I'm trying to manage the time here. It only took us 11 episodes to stick on that. and my guy's been waiting in the wings for a while, so let's bring him up. Amir.
What's happening?
There he is, man. What's up, Amir? How are you? How are you feeling now that your episode is aired?
Man, I thought in general this season was fucking garbage compared to the other two. It just didn't seem like it was as professional. They didn't show a quarter of the shit that they said they were gonna. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It was weird. Another last minute one. Everything was like, I don't know, man. This one was weird at all of them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you sit in a unique spot, having been the only guy to compete on all three. Can you expand on that a little bit? You said that they said they talked about some things they would include that they didn't. I mean, how did they characterize that, and what are you referring to specifically?
It was like they were just hyping it up. So I remember one instance. I was all saying, are you guys like going to add more of like our backstory? Because nobody knows who the fuck any of us are. You know what I'm saying? We're just showing up to the house. They get a little fucking video of our house or whatever, and that's it. Nobody knows any fucking thing about us, you know? So I like brought that up to one of the producers. He's like, yeah, I'm changing the whole script from top to bottom of the show. We're going to show backstories. We're going to show every little thing about you guys that we can, just so we can project you guys as people more so than athletes. And as you can see, it was just like fucking 1 and 2. It was just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, in and out. Let's promote fucking dumpling, you know? So, but that's just me, my outlook from being on all three personally.
Yeah, again, I mean, you're the only person that can kind of give that insight, so it's definitely insightful. Talk to us about the fight, man. Obviously, you talked about it in that little post speech or whatever you want to call it that they give you. You're not a flincher. You're not a guy that flinches. And
It was
reason,
weird. It was another weird thing. Fucking, I'm not like trying to make excuses by any means, but like I'm used to seeing my opponent before, and Darren was only there for a couple of hours for the cameras or whatever. He was in the fucking hotel the whole time. He couldn't handle all the drama and all the shit that was going on in the house. So he just got to go kick it at the hotel, talk to his woman, all that happy stuff. So that fucking threw me off mentally. And then Terp was fucking telling me since I got there that I lost the coin toss and I was going to be taking the first whack. So the whole time, literally, I'm not even really working my slap. I'm just working how I'm going to take one. So for fucking, it was like 5 days or something. I'm just working on defense. I might have thrown like 5 slaps for the cameras, and then we get up to the fucking podium, and I won the coin toss. So I'm like, well, fuck, I don't even know how to do this anymore, you know? So I totally miss, and it was a fair blow. And yeah, I was fucking trying to do whatever Turpin was telling me to do, just like be a rock. And then it got to the point where I was fucking, like, I was getting tired of standing there and fucking just tensing up so hard. So I was starting to fucking fatigue and like spaz out a little. Like my muscles were shaking, you know, and that's why I fucking moved.
And when he hit you, did you know something was wrong? Because he knew pretty quickly.
Here's the thing about that. I feel like on the second one, I would have been right on the money, and I would have at least put him down. And I think he knew that, because as soon as I hit him, I could feel something in him just change mentally, physically. He totally changed. He did that little fucking whatever, act like he was eating a cookie. He did that just for some camera time. So I think it was just a Paul Teague moment. He just didn't want to take one, so he just wanted to call out, and he got the win.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously I don't want to necessarily jump to any conclusions, but I did find it interesting that he elected not to strike with his left hand.
Right, because he would have got another one. Who doesn't want just another free whack, even if it was with his right hand? Right?
Yeah, that was definitely interesting. Talk to me about Turpin. Obviously, you've been around, so you're not new to this. You actually technically predate Turpin. What was he like as a coach? What were you able to take away from him? What do you feel like? Do you feel like you guys bumped heads at all? Was there a chip on your shoulder?
There was no bumping heads. There was no chip on our shoulders. There was me and Terp are homies from the absolute jump. Ever since he got in, since Powers Lab 2, me and him clicked right away. Phone calls every day. Like out of everyone on the roster, Turpin, he's my dog. So me and him we had the same goal in mind, but we wanted to go about it 2 different ways. You know what I'm saying? So he wanted me to win on defense, but I really just needed my offense to shine on this one. One slap, I should have knocked this dude out 7 days a week.
Got it. Court?
Yeah, Amir. I mean, last time we talked to you, you were getting ready to go on to the show. You said some things you probably shouldn't have said. Went back. We cut it out for you. We did you a solid, my man. I know it was last minute again. You were super excited, obviously, to get that call. Dana had a lot of good words to say about you, actually. He talked about you being on every single show, being a gamer, always showing up. Can you take anything away from, hearing Dana talk back, about those words and how he feels about you as a fighter?
I mean, just the simple fact that I was watching this dude on TV, like at my mom's house when I was fucking 12, 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? The fact that this dude is even saying my name, that's means the world in itself.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just got to take the good with the bad. This really wasn't a good one by any means for me, except a little bit more exposure, I guess. So.
I hear you. I mean, the comments are going off here in YouTube and Facebook here, talking about the shrug of Darren's shoulders. Do you want to add any context to that?
So if my hand wasn't turned up, I would have hit his shoulders before his chin. He was tucked up, so I've never had anyone do that to me ever. So I just adjusted on the fly and just got the best whack off that I could.
Awesome, my man. What's next for you? Do you ready to go again? You need some time away? Where are you kind of at in your career?
Really, if anything, I want some notice on my next fight. I don't know if you guys remember, but Power Slap 1, found out the day before. They had me fly out, and it was fucking a couple days medicals, and then I was straight in the house. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have time to do my laundry. I fucking put dirty clothes in my bag. You know what I'm saying? Power Slap 2, I had like 39 or 40 days to get ready for that. And y'all know the outcome for that. Joe didn't stand a motherfucking chance in history. He wouldn't have done nothing to me on 40 days notice. Then you get to Azael, 5 days notice. I was eating Swiss rolls and fucking dinglings, and I was getting fat as hell, and I wasn't trying to fight at all. So had my match with him, and then I was like, okay, cool. This is going to be my chance to really just take a break for a minute, focus on training, get my slap dialed in, work my defense a little, and bam, fucking Power Slap 4 was coming around the corner. It was the week of, and they fucking called me and flew me out. So, total, I'm not even trying to fight, and they called. But I could use a paycheck. I could use fucking 10 G's in my bank account. You know what I'm saying? This has happened literally every time. Every fucking time. It's fucking the day before, fly out tomorrow morning, the first flight, we'll get you here. You know what I'm saying? The one time that I had a little bit of notice, it wasn't even fucking close for the other guy.
Yeah. I was going to say, saying Swiss rolls and dingling with my man over here, or where he's at, this way, that way, beside me. It's probably a dangerous proposition here.
Well,
but you know what? There is
y'all
some
know
merit.
what I was getting at. I'm just eating whatever I want, not fucking working out, not training, and then my fucking phone's blown up.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say no because I'm not trying to be that guy, right?
100%. We've seen Erica and we've seen Frank give guys, multiple opportunities. You have stepped up a number of times. You've been a corporate guy the entire time. No one can deny you of that. Seemingly, though, you've got about 7 weeks. Street Beefs, KO Chris.
Man,
how did all this come about? And is it actually going to happen?
If Chris pulls up, I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna have my gloves in my back pocket. So I could fight Chris off the couch and knock him out in the first round. I'm really not worried about this fight at all.
But honestly, man, does this actually happen? Like, are you contractually allowed to be able to do this in Power Slap?
We're not allowed whatsoever. I think Chris is just trying to cling on the last little bit of clout that he has, which is me. Manny knocked him the fuck out. Blackburn did him even worse. So now what would be the last thing that he has? The whole reason that I got in the sport was because I thought I was going to see Chris in my first match.
Gotcha, my man. Where is this taking place? Washington?
Where is it? Yeah, over on the coast in Washington in some undisclosed location.
Awesome.
Is Jesse the ref for that? Is that real?
Man, He better not be, but rumor has it he better fucking not be.
So
Jesse doesn't even know how to fight, let him ref.
So it's somewhere on the I-5.
So I-5 or whatever it is up here. I don't even know. I don't go over there too often. It's like 4.5, 5 hours away. Excuse me.
Gotcha, my man. Gotcha. Yeah, well, I'll tell you, we'll be definitely tuned into that. Would love to get an invite over to that event. See two OGs of Power Slap slugging it out.
Man, and I would not even waste my gas money or waste a couple $100 for the flight, to be honest with you.
So it's not happening.
Please, no, like if my stipulation is Frank has to give us the okay, and I'm wiping the floor with dude.
That's not happening, man.
And that's not happening.
You are never going to get a lawyer, Frank. In no way will give you the okay to make this happen.
No,
never.
Former champ, blah blah blah. That would just make him look bad, type thing.
This isn't happening. Yeah. All right, my man. I mean, great seeing you. Stay in touch. We got three events coming up. Hopefully, we get you up there again with a little bit of a head notice and see if you can replicate that Joe Landman fight.
My ideal plan, though, just so everyone's aware, I'm dropping down to 170. Cole Young would be ideal for me, or like Jesus Gaspar, just so he can come back. But I feel like if I go down to 170 and I have some notice, I'm knocking dudes out. I'm getting the belt there next.
Damn, dude, you pulled that name from the fucking grave, Jesus Gaspar. Jeez, that was a good one.
Yeah, just so he could get some groceries or some whatever, because he's probably been broke for a little bit, had to get a job or something.
Awesome, my man. Appreciate you, dude. Much love. We'll talk soon, okay?
Much love. Thank you, guys.
Take care, my man. All right, then. Amir Nuriddeen. Catching up with him.
Hey, for those of you who are watching, stick around until the very end. We have a few things to talk about that Dana confirmed for us, so some exciting stuff. But I want to be a good steward to our guests and keep this show rolling. So let's bring out our next guest, the bodybuilder, Luke Simonds.
Yo, what's up, guys?
What's up, Luke? How are you, man? Congratulations.
Pretty good, thank you.
So obviously now that you moved into the 2-0 territory, you get yourself a win over a guy who's kind of been there, done that. He's ranked number 5. As we sit here today, what do you think that does? What do you think that puts you in the mix of light heavyweights?
I've been thinking about that for a long time. First thing I thought was like, yeah, I should be number 5, but I don't know how they do it. I mean, I've only had 2 fights, so I don't know how much that plays into it. But I mean, beating the number 5 guy, only 2 fights in, that does say a lot. So.
Yeah, I mean, again, a unique opportunity, right? A lot of the guys are fighting. I mean, even you in your first fight, you fought a guy who's new to this, just as you are.
Yeah.
So to get an opportunity like that in your second fight and be on the right side of that, obviously it wasn't the cleanest match. It wasn't like flawless per se, but it's a win nonetheless. What are you thinking about the whole experience on the show? How you were portrayed? How well you think they kind of told your story to the fan base, and where you sit right now as an athlete in the sport.
I think, they showed a lot. They showed basically, a good gist of me, but I still feel like they could have shown more, and there's still more to learn about me. But they got a show to make, and it can't be all about one person or anything like that. So they got a time frame to go by. So, my Instagram, people can scroll down forever and they'll be able to find out about me just by doing that. I got like 10 years on Instagram. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good insight, man.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a graphic. I don't know if you caught it. Obviously, you were part of this conversation live with Frank that showed sort of the finalists, right? You moved to 2-0. You're the only light heavyweight representation up there, which means we don't know who your opponent would be. But it's safe to assume you're fighting at Power Slap 9. Is there anything you can say about any of that? Obviously, I don't want you to drop your opponent, but do you know anything about Power Slap 9 based on what Frank said and the fact that you're on this finalist graphic?
I can't say exactly what they're cooking up, but
Good man. You passed the test. No, I'm just kidding.
Your coach just got a win bonus. The Kudo win bonus. Power Slap's going crazy right now with some announcements and stuff, but Robert Trujillo gets the win bonus put out by Kudo Snacks. So talk to us, my man, about Robert and what he brought.
Robert was
your game.
Yeah, no, he was Terp.
Oh, you were Terp? Oh, sorry, my man. My bad.
Yeah, that's how you.
Never mind. I'm bad.
Trujillo
You lead the show, buddy.
Yeah, Trujillo was a good coach, even though he was on the other side. I mean, you could tell he was more technical, and I feel like I could have learned something from Trujillo for sure. But I mean, Terp was awesome. You know, he gave you that fire under your ass. So.
Yeah, you're a pretty somebody just commented on it. Luke has the chillest attitude and power stuff. You're a pretty mellow guy. Like you would think that kind of personality, which is almost the polar opposite of what you kind of present, your demeanor is excessive. One thing that I was interested in is, again, back to the uniqueness of the matchup. Yeah. Turpin, fought Allen. Was there anything that Turpin was able to tell you from an experience standpoint, being that he fought Allen? So was he able to give you any specific tips about, Allen's windup? I know that freaked Turpin out. That's I think one of the first times we ever saw Turpin get kind of rocked was in the Allen fight, right? He just kind of was like, whoa, because Allen has that crazy fast windup. Was there anything that he could tell you or give you insight to that would prepare you for that match?
I mean, he told me, about the windup. Everybody kind of knew about it, so everyone let me know about that. But he just basically said, like, he didn't have nothing for me. So, like, he knew I had it in me to win. So I just trusted, because he fought him already. So I trusted what Terp was saying, that, he didn't have nothing for me. Which, I mean, he fought me good, though, for sure. I wish I would have not messed up on that first round. But other than that, I fought really clean. But Allen was a good opponent for sure. I just was like, I thought I was going to be able to knock him out like way easier. And I thought I was actually going to be able to knock him out. But it's funny because, like, his power isn't as, like, powerful as Caesar's was. But, he still hit me and beat up my face. But, like, I was pretty confident in eating all of those shots. But hitting him, like, the first one, he kind of moves with it. And they don't call a flinch because I guess it didn't affect the strike. But you can see him, he kind of goes with it a little bit. So that technique was working to where I couldn't knock him out. And then plus his jaw and his face is a little bit smaller, a smaller target. And I was just so frustrated because every round I went back to my corner. I was like, I'm going to knock him out this time, and I was just like, all right, I guess I'm going to get him on the last one. I never did, So I was so sure I was going to knock him out. But he was, like, props to him. He's able to take a hit.
Yeah, man. Let's take a look at this fight. We won't be able to provide any audio for you for copyright reasons, but you can talk us through it, just kind of what you were thinking, and obviously each part of that. So he comes in light, 200.5 pounds.
A little bit on the lighter side.
Right. You get to strike first. Obviously, you just fought a week ago. He just got here at this point. All right. Beautiful windup.
It looked good, but not from the feet.
So did you know, like, right when you hit him that you had stepped, or you're not conscious of that?
No, I didn't. You just don't feel that. I mean, if I could think, I feel like maybe it moved forward after my hand made contact with him, but, it was still pretty crazy, like, foot movement. So they wanted to be clean for sure.
Good placement on the face, though, man. Again, for a guy with not so much experience, definitely want to give you your flowers for that.
Thank you.
And then obviously he does his signature, slaps the I don't know what to call it, man. The stick that you guys hold, he slaps it. That's nothing, right? Yeah. That's classic Alan Klingbeil.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking now? Like, you're sitting there, he's showboating a little bit, taking some time.
I'm just like, all right, hurry up, hit me so I can knock you out the next round. That's literally what I was thinking. I just, like, his power wasn't like a threat to my stability or nothing like that.
Now, I know you said that you knew about the wind up, but did it freak you out the first time? Like, just like, was it faster than you thought? Were you like fully prepared for it?
It didn't freak me out. I just made sure I was timing when to brace and blow air out and flex everything up. So it made it harder for that, but then it almost made it easier in the second and third round. I don't know. I just got used to it really quick.
Is it freaky watching your face do that in slow motion?
Yeah, I got some loose skin on my face compared to most people or something. I don't really got that much face muscle, so
even your hair's your hair's down. It's kind of head and
I
it
can't
moves quite a bit.
Style in this either. I should have got it cut. But I was trying to stay with the same style just so people could always remember me. You know, because some people they'd have their hair one way and then get it cut. Like I just wanted to be easy and memorable. And that was the second slap right there, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So again, perfect placement, no call on that one. He doesn't seem too bothered by it. My question is, when I was looking at you as you were winding up, you go down quite a bit. I didn't notice. And when I say down, I'm not talking about just your arm. I'm talking about you, like you're squatting.
Yeah,
almost heel touching your butt. Like, what's the strategy behind that, especially for those first two windups?
For that specific slap, it's just like get as much momentum and power from your legs, since your legs is like the biggest muscle group, and transfer it to my hand, and I make my arm like a whip the best I can. So that's what I'm trying to do with that specific slap, and I'm working on more slaps than just that one. So I got some stuff up my sleeve right now, but that one, I'm still gonna keep that one in the bag in case I want to. Because the hit, it comes up at a different angle. It's more like a uppercut at a 45-degree angle, but I have another slap that's going to be from a different angle. So I'm excited to see how it, works in my future matches.
Yeah, so that was a pretty egregious flinch. Did you see that at all when you were?
I don't think I did. I think I felt it though. Like the whole time I was like thinking I should have hit deeper, and maybe I should have because he was, kind of doing that roll. So because afterwards for the longest time I was like, I wish I would have just hit him way deeper because he was moving, and then it would have made sure. But I want to knock him out clean too, but and then he got hit again. And that was a decent.
It looks like you opened up a little bit of a cut on his face, and I thought I saw some blood from the corner of your mouth. Did he make you bleed?
Yeah, my lip started to split and tear. So it could have, if it got hit just right, tore up more. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but I was like,
hopefully we never see that. Jeez.
Yeah, I was getting mad that I was had to take all three of his slaps, and then because I really just wanted to knock him out. In the first 1 or 2 rounds. But so by the time it got to the end and he slapped me, I'm getting some language with him, and he's messing with me, kind of playing around up there.
Yeah, this is a little different. That's a little different. We haven't seen that from Alan.
Yeah.
And he's holding, and he's you're talking to him, he's talking to you.
Yeah.
So you have zero concern based on what you felt the first 2 times that nothing's gonna happen here.
Yeah, I was pretty confident, 95% sure I wasn't gonna get knocked out right there. There's always room for maybe they could hit you just right, but Caesar hits hard. I'm glad I made it through Caesar, and I'm glad I faced Caesar first, because if I would have faced someone who didn't hit as hard first, it wouldn't my fight with Allen might have played out differently. So.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations. Great to talk to you again. If our hunch is correct and you do compete at Power Slap 9, we can't wait to find out who your opponent is. And we'll be present there live. So if you are there, and if you're not, whatever, Power Slap 10, 11 will be there as well. So definitely excited, man. I'm curious to see who they match you up with in general. Obviously, like you said, you just beat number 5. Dana said we can expect the rankings update, over the next week. So I'm excited to see where you land, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
Any parting words before we let you go, brother?
No, just thank y'all for always covering our sport. It's awesome, and y'all are great.
Well, we appreciate that, my man. We'll talk soon, man. Stay in touch. If you need anything, reach out, and you always have a home here at Slab News.
All right. Appreciate
All
it.
right, brother. Take care, Luke. All right. I'm still trying to be. We're a little behind, but we're getting close to staying on time. We're gonna just keep rolling. So we actually got both guys from the heavyweight. The heavyweight fight that we saw. Incredible fight. We're gonna start with the victor, James Siekmann, and then we'll close out the show with Pono. And again, like I said, at the very end, we'll talk about some things that didn't confirm for us. Let's bring up the man, the Iron Chin, James Siekmann.
Hey there, how you guys doing?
What's up, James? How are you?
Doing very well, thank you. Appreciate you having me on.
Congratulations, of course. A very different performance than your first one. As far as obviously it goes deep, right? You get him out of there around 3. You're facing, a big scary guy. How does it all feel? I mean, at this moment, as you sit here.
It feels good. I was happy to see that fight. I had seen the West fight once afterwards without volume. I hadn't seen this fight yet, so I was happy to see it. I was happy that I didn't foul and I delivered clean slaps. I was happy with it. I feel good.
Obviously, I kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier. Pono is a larger guy. Kind of has that. He's Hawaiian. There's this big aura around him. I think maybe people made a bit about his presence. What were you thinking as you're like, oh, I got to fight this guy? What was going through your head? Was there any part of you that was like, man, this might not go my way? Were you fully confident in yourself? Like, where was your head at truly?
I was fully confident that I was going to win. I don't think I could be knocked out with a slap. But there was definitely times where I was like, this is going to be a challenge. I knew Pono he's not some pussy. Pono's a big, strong guy. He's a warrior. And so, yeah, I knew I was going to get into a battle, but I wasn't really worried about it. If I want to take down DeBell, I better be able to get through Pono.
Yeah, obviously he had a broken right hand. And I believe he talked about that kind of in his recap of the show, or I'm sorry, of the fight on the show. And just the thought that might result in a different outcome if his dominant hand was part of it. Do you think that anything would have gone any different? Maybe your reactions or just in general getting hit on that other side?
No, I don't think it matters what hand he puts up. I'm sure we're gonna run it back at some point, and he'll get to hit me with his right. But I think I kind of proved that I can knock him out with my slap. So it's not. I'm not really worried about what hand I'm fighting him with. You know what I mean? I already know that I can take him out.
Yeah, and then as we sit here right now, the rankings have let's see, number 7, James Stonier, obviously was on the show with you. Number 8, Darius Mataverona. Given that, where do you think you kind of fit in? Like I said, Dana has confirmed to us there'll be a ranking update over the next week. So where do you think you should debut at?
I'm guessing I'm going to drop at 3, probably 3 or 4, based off of what I've heard.
Awesome. All right. So there's some conversations.
I haven't heard anything about where I'm going to rank. I'm just guessing off of events that are happening in the future and stuff like that. That's where I guess I'd probably rank in the top 3 or 4.
Yeah, so I mean, on that subject, you were the heavyweight finalist. I just talked to Luke about it. Obviously, he wants to remain tight-lipped altogether. I'm not asking for any opponent or anything like that. Obviously, we know you guys aren't supposed to talk about those things. But are you able to confirm if you're fighting at Power Stop 9?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure at the end of the show there they said that I'd be brought to Abu Dhabi. So I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that I will be in Abu Dhabi, but I'm not going to say who I'll be fighting.
Totally respect that. Awesome. Well, that's great news. It's obviously a guy that wins. This is called Road to the Title, so we want to make sure that we're seeing the finalists and that there's some level of closure and a finale kind of as time goes on. Obviously, with the coaches not facing one another. Final one for me before I turn it over to Corey. You had an interesting moment when you were talking to Dana, and you were like, kind of geeking out, like, oh, it's pretty cool to talk to you. I mean, how much did that mean to you to be able to, like, I don't know what your history is, how much you knew about Dana or, if you're a fan or things like that, but you're talking to this guy after you have a good performance and he's praising you. How much did that mean to you?
It meant a lot. I've been a huge Dana White fan for a long, long time. I love Dana White. So, they actually get to kneel down and talk to him and to get some praise was really cool. It was a nice feeling.
Amazing, man. Again, congratulations, Core.
Awesome. James, great to speak to you again. Talk to me, man. Very weird scenario, or different scenario, not weird, just different, that you have so much mutual respect for your opponent in this match. We see a lot of this season where it's, the grudge match, the anger, the stuff that goes in the house, it's all unleashed on stage. But on this one, a little bit differently. Talk to me about how that mindset and being able to get up there when you had that friendly relationship, but you also need to take, the performance that you had to the next level to take care of business.
Yeah. So Pono and I had kind of talked about it beforehand that we wanted to be respectful to each other. So I knew I wasn't going to be talking any shit during this fight. I knew the magnitude of the fight and basically that the winner of us would probably be in the finale. So I already knew that, like, if I win, I'm already taking that from him. So I didn't need to talk any shit or anything like that. He's a good guy, and he's a good competitor, and I just didn't have any shit to talk. I like Pono. He's a good dude.
Awesome. I mean, from day one, you've been talking about Damien DeBell. Even after this match, you bring it up again, that's the guy that you want. Do you feel like you're like a man on a mission and that's your destiny?
100%. Yeah. I've seen myself knock him out. I've visualized it. I've watched it happen in my head over and over. So it's just, we got to let time and events take place and we'll get there. It'll happen.
Gotcha, my man. I mean, someone, from the similar vein, from Slap Fight Champion, Darius the Destroyer, also up there as part of the season. I know you didn't get to fight him, but what did you think of him up there in his game? And I mean, would you like to, throw strikes with him one day?
I love Darius, man. He was awesome. When I saw him walk in the house, I was so excited. And then he was just the nicest guy. I'd fight him any day. I would absolutely love it. I wouldn't feel very good about beating Darius, though. You know what I mean? I really like him. He's a good dude. But it was awesome to have him there. He did teach me some stuff. Of course, I asked him for pointers right off the bat. How to get more of a follow through with my swing and stuff like that. And he opened right up and he was super cool.
Are you sure you weren't asking for pointers on how to beat the bell? Because that would kind of be your style.
yeah, right. No, just pointers in general.
Awesome, my man. Let's run your fight through. I want you to talk with me through it, kind of what's going on here and everything. So we see Pono going up here. I actually kind of laughed at Pono right on one, and we see the ref chuckle on it.
Yeah. We kind of planned something out there ahead of time, but I was too focused on the fight. I didn't hold up on my end.
So, obviously he's going with his left. I mean, talk to me. You're bracing low on this one. You're using the podium on your chest as kind of an extra pillar.
Yeah, well, they told me I had to have my chest up on the podium there. And I definitely tried to tuck my chin as much as possible this time. And then when the judge told me, I got to put my chin up, I put it up as little bit as possible. Made micro adjustments so I wouldn't end up with my chin up too high, just sticking it out there, for him to take.
How did that feel? Because from the outside, you seem to take it quite well.
It just was like a giant thud to the face. It was just like someone slugged you with their fist. That's what it felt like.
Gotcha. Talk to me about Turpin and what and kind of, did you jive with him? Like, did he help get you up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Turpin's the best, man. I love him. His energy is perfect for me. If he could be my coach at every single event, I would have that.
Awesome, man. So talk to me through this lineup here.
All right. So I'm basically just, if you see my left arm, I put it back there. And I started doing that. And what it does is it prevents me from going too deep on their face and hitting them too, back in their neck like I did my first shot with Wes. So that was just one of the adjustments. And I kind of got that from a mix of Darius and James Stonier, actually. Kind of both gave me some adjustments there.
Gotcha. When Pono ate this one, what'd you think? Did you think you were in for a long night?
No. I mean, after that one, I was pretty sure that he was going down on the second one.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't think I didn't think he'd come back from the first one.
Yeah, showing grit and determination for sure to get back in there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a fun fight to watch. And on the second shot, and Pono even messaged me this. He says, I clubbed you. I wish they would have called it. And the one that kind of drops me back here, that's it. If you watch, you'll see the palm hits me right on the corner of the jaw here, right where it curves over. And that's the same spot West hit me with his palm in my first fight.
Let's find out. Pono, did you text him?
Am I on?
You are on, my man.
Yes, I did. Yeah, we literally just got off the phone right before all this stuff came up. So yeah, I felt bad already. I looked at it and I was like, dude, I'm good at analyzing a lot of the fights, and it's like when I saw that, I was like, man, I clubbed him. I was like, what a piece of shit I am.
Nah, it should happen, bro.
but yeah, it was you could already tell just from where the stance was, a little bit too close. I like what James just said about like having that distance, so that way you make sure you don't hit him in that certain area, and you can see it right there. Right when Turpin tells him, hey, you know what, just take a little slight step back, and you got it. Just kind of angle it a little bit more, and you got this. And that's prime example of a good coach and a good fighter, somebody that's actually listening to their coach and really kind of going into that. And I think already James, he kind of knew already that that positioning just from the first slap, just that little slight adjustment was gonna put it out. So it was solid. Yeah, when I saw that club, I couldn't believe it myself. I was like, man, that was the same exact hit I threw when I fought Jinx, and I threw that first slap. It was like, I'm too dedicated to it. I'm too deep into it. I need to take a little step back, take time to kind of think about it, and then deliver it. So yeah, I was kind of upset with that club.
It's all good, bro.
My guy.
Love you, dude.
I love you too.
Yeah, James talked about, he thinks you guys will cross paths sometime in the future. How exciting would that one be?
Oh, for sure. Because you got to think about it. It's like we're so new to the sport now, coming in, being able to experience all this, being able to kind of make the minor adjustments here and there. Any fight from this point on is just going to be fireworks. It's now we have proper training, proper positioning. So it's going to be definitely fireworks on the next time that you see me and James, just because the fact that it could be the one and done every single time. You never know when it's going to come,
Absolutely. Awesome, James. Any final words, my man, before we let you go?
No, I just appreciate you guys covering everything. You guys do a great job. Appreciate it.
Awesome,
Love you, Pono.
The Iron Chin, my boy.
Yeah, sir. Hawaiian assassin.
I love you, bro.
I love you too.
All right,
appreciate you guys.
Take care, my man.
Take care. Do I just leave?
You're all good, man. Anytime.
All right. Take care.
Buddy. Pono.
What's going on, boys?
Good. How are you?
Good to talk to you guys.
Absolutely, man. Great to have you on once again. The match didn't go the way that you wanted.
True.
But overall showed a lot of guts and determination to get up there with your left, kind of reminisce of, I guess, Ryan Phillips all the way back to season 1 as well. Having to go with his left and, obviously the career he's had, go on, fought for the belt at heavyweight. Maybe you guys got more similarity than I realized before I just made that last statement.
Yeah, you're looking at me like, oh man, this guy looks like Ryan Phillips.
No. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, no. But you're right though. I mean, it similarities are there,
Yeah.
and I feel like that with a lot of the fighters. It's like you have an opportunity to make the best of it. And you don't want to give up on that opportunity, especially when you have people telling you, hey, you know what, if you can't do this, you're going home. If you can't be able to perform, you're going home. So it's like you got to make that turn around really quick. And especially with Ryan, it's a live event. So he has to make that decision on the spot of like, hey, you know what, I either hit him with my left or I kind of just back out and take the loss,
Yeah. I mean, you can plead the fifth on this one, but you watch the fight to follow. You see Darren Godfrey elect not to continue. What do you think in that moment?
So just from watching it back, I can already tell that, like, I mean, it's a very hard lean. His head is all the way down, so you're kind of hitting the crest of the head. It's a hard position for anything. You know, you have small bones in the hand, small bones in the wrist. So at any point in time, that could really, you know, damage everything there. For a moment, I see Darren kind of like call him out on it, like, "Hey, brother, you know, you leaning forward. What's going on with that?" But you can tell in Darren's face that, like, just in his palm, in his hands, something's going on there, like something where it's clicking in his head not to continue. You know, it's like, I don't want to fight nobody with a weaker hand or anything else. I want to deliver full 100% whatever it is. And it surprised him. You could tell it just caught him off guard that, you know, originally when they did talk, you know, and we were around for those conversations, it's like, hey, you know what, when we go out there, we want to put on the best show. So just, you deliver to me, I deliver to you, and that's the way it is. So I mean, it caught Darren off guard when when Amir kind of gets that full on lean and flinch all the way down and kind of puts his head in a bad position where, I mean, potentially you could break anything in the wrist and the hand just by hitting a harder surface than the chin.
Yeah. So, like, how are you feeling now? Are you medically suspended? Things recovered? Can we see you again soon?
Yeah. So the hand's doing a lot better. Went through the whole entire physical therapy. Didn't have to do any surgery. So right now it's kind of just continuing on with the physical therapy of the hand. Probably got like another month or so before it's like finally cleared. The bone is healed up completely. So there's no probably like, I would say 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago, a month, you know, we went to go and check it, and there was still some, you know, remnants of like a hairline fracture that was still there that we kind of got to let time heal it, you know, doing the proper procedure, just the proper training and try to make sure I just keep it safe for now. I'm a hard-headed person, so I'm still out there swinging the right hand, and you see it in a lot of like my videos and that I post on the Instagram. You know, it's more of like, I still got to train it. I still got to be able to keep it, you know, sharp, and I feel like it's going to be a powerhouse when it comes down to the next event or the next challenge.
Yeah. You know, Dana said the rankings are going to be updated here in the next week or so. Where do you think you debut in the heavyweight division?
For ranking wise?
Yeah.
You know what? To be honest, just from my fight with Jenkins and then this fight with James, I would love to say that I'm up there and ranked on the, you know, 1 through 10, but I think I still fall short of that, and I'll probably be on the lower end, and I'll probably have to bring in another, you know, fight or so to just kind of bring that up and even get onto the rankings. You know, I don't want to give myself hey, you know what, I'm at that point where I deserved ranking. I should be more of like humble that all these things have happened, and then kind of sit at the bottom and work my way back up, you know?
Yeah. I hear you, man. I mean, you know, very realistic, you know, good answer from you. You know, one last one for me, you know, bigger than the sport. You know, you talked about this platform, you getting on TV, you know, hoping that your daughter would reach out to you. Has it happened?
No, it hasn't happened yet. So we've got a little bit closer, you know, finding more information about, you know, where my daughter is and everything else. And the original feeling of like not having her by my side, you know, it's been killing me. So, you know, getting on the show and using the platform was for that specifically. You know, it's like I needed a way to be able to reach out to her, and this was probably the best way or the only way that I would ever have that chance. You know, me and my previous relationship, we didn't have any, you know, connection since my daughter was 3 years old, and a lot of it has to do for, you know, on my end, you know, making bad decisions and being a bad person. And I wish I would have stuck it out. I was really young, and I still had that young boy type of mentality where, you know, I was like, I didn't really put all my love and faith into my family. And for a while, it just kind of hurt me. You know, I would sit there and try to think about like, what are the steps? What do I need to do? How do I figure out how to get some kind of contact for my daughter, or even just kind of, you know, being able to, you know, fight the custody battles or do whatever it is to get into that sense. But you know, it's rough, especially when you're young. You know, you don't know what to do, and and then I'm hard-headed, so I don't ask for advice from anybody or help from anybody, and I'm just trying to figure it out on my own. I wish I knew what I knew now back then. because then I would have made the necessary steps to be able to try to fix everything that happened.
For sure. I mean, the show was, that just came out, an hour ago. So maybe there'll be a mutual friend or someone that knows both you that might be able to kind of get you some more information. So it's definitely not over yet. I know you got a big career ahead of you. I'm going to swing it over to Ding, get a couple more questions before we let you go.
Thanks, sir.
Pono, I'm just curious. We asked this question to your brother a few weeks ago. Apparently, many of the fans didn't even know you guys were brothers. So, but what was it like being in the house? Obviously, you didn't have any significant problems of your own. Obviously, we saw a couple of moments where you kind of had to get serious. But your brother gets into a full-blown scuffle. You watch a guy try to kick him in the head. I remember at that moment, that's when you got involved. I questioned the first time, and I didn't mean any offense or anything like that. I know the Chief can take care of himself. He's an MMA fighter. But, I was just like, I can only imagine as a brother what that was like to witness. And then you see this guy try to kick him in his head. Like, what's going through your mind? What was that experience like for you? As you're his older brother?
Yes. Yeah.
So you're a big brother, and you're watching your younger brother, handle himself. But then a moment like that, where really, some serious damage could have been done had he connected with that kick. Talk to us a little bit about what that felt like for you.
Yeah. So I mean, I have full confidence in my brother. He's been in a lot of like scuffles and fights throughout his whole entire life, and he was able to take it to a professional level where, being in the MMA world and being able to compete in so many different events. So in the back of my mind, I don't doubt his skill set or anything else. I mean, I know he can defend himself the best way he can. And I could already tell that there was going to be some stuff like that happening in the house. Just, him coming in, he's really trying to make a statement in the middleweight division. He wants to put his name out there. He wants to be able to show everybody what he's got. And I had no doubt in him whatsoever. And that's kind of like why you don't see me in the very beginning, because I'm just I'm just getting off of that win from Jinx. I'm trying to settle down and try to make sure that I got my mind on right, and we do have a moment where we kind of go out and we have a little bit of fun. And, immediately right after that, new people come into the house, and then here comes my brother, and it's like, okay, well, we don't even get to greet him the right way just because of like, the James Stone here and the Brandon Rhodes thing going on at that moment. And then it's like, everybody calls me Papa Pono in the house, so it's like, I'm the father-like figure, just trying to stop this, don't do that, come on, think guys, use your head. And it's like, and then it gets to me where now it's like, okay, well, nobody's really listening. I got to exert my voice a little bit more. I got to show a little bit more of authority, just so that way, people just get back into line and just, check yourself. At the end of the day, this is an opportunity for you guys to grow. It's like, you guys don't want to waste this moment right here just on little things like this. It's like, you gotta have a bigger picture in your mind for the future ahead. And at that moment, my brother comes in there. And I know how he is. He's very exciting. He brings life to the show. So immediately there, Brandon Kerr exchanges some words. He says some things. My brother, he's not going to be quiet. He's going to exchange words right back. He likes to fire right back at it. And he's really confident in himself. So I knew already that it was going down that path of like, they're going to have that scuffle and that beef sooner or later. It's going to happen. And it's fine when, when it's controlled. But at that moment, you could already tell, and I looking back at it, I made a bad decision, right, too, right? Because right after, I'm like, you know what, that's my brother 100%. I jump in there and, I kind of give a kick to Kerr. And before that, it was more of like, hey, you know what, Kerr was the guy trying to kick my brother in the face. So he's my brother. He's my blood. It's like I said on the show, it's like, I'm always going to take his side 100%. I'm always on his side. And at that moment, I felt like, hey, you know what? It's like, no matter what it is, even if my brother could take care of himself, I'm still going to jump in there and try to help out. And it's like, it's an unfair fight at that moment. People are jumping on him. They're grabbing on him. If you notice, I don't really grab him because I know already, it's the worst thing you could ever do to a fighter is try to grab him and hold him down and try to pin him away from what he's doing, just because the fact that you never know what the other person's about to do, or even if he's being held down. That that prime example, getting kicked in the face or somebody trying to kick him in the face. It's like those things happen. So immediately everybody jumps in to kind of try to stop the scuffle, try to stop the fight, and emotions take over, and it's like, that's my brother 100%. So I got him. If I have to stomp somebody, I have to stomp somebody. It's just the way it is.
That's amazing, man. Corey asked James this a little while ago, but you had the unique experience of being able to spend some time with Darius, Darius the Destroyer, who's obviously a legend in the sport despite his youth and how young he is. He was kind of the guy in season 1, the pioneer of all of this. Would you entertain a fight with a guy like that if it, obviously he just got a win on the show. So would you, if that was your way back or your journey ahead, would you entertain a fight with him, and how much would it mean to you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, Darius is a veteran in the sport. You can't put it past him. He's been in multiple fights, so it would be an honor, to fight somebody with that type of name. So I'm definitely interested in it, and I take that with anybody. Especially if you already been in the sport, you already been doing it. I'm not going to turn down that fight whatsoever. I welcome it with open arms, just because the fact that it's an experience that I get to learn from. It's an experience that I get to, that a year ago, I was just the guy living in Hawaii, just kind of chilling out and doing my own thing, and it's like, and now looking at me now, it's like, I saw people on Power Slap and I was like, man, I wish I was there, So it's like, now this opportunity to be on the show and to be able to do this is like, it's an eye opener for me, and when I go against people like, the bigger names, like even like, I get to compete next to James Stonier. He's got a solid name in the sport, and he does amazing with his slaps. And it's like, you get to run into people like that. Allen, right? The Superman. It's like, these are people that have already been doing it and that, kind of like pioneering the sport and kind of growing the sport. So it's like, it's an honor for me to share the stage and the show and everything with them, So I would always entertain the fact of like going against Darius, just because the fact that he's a veteran in the sport. I would never turn it down.
And the final one for me, obviously, we see, on social media, you post consistently, very motivational, inspiring stuff. Is that something that you sort of decided to do as this all unfolded and you were given this platform, or is that something that you've always done?
So it's not something that I've always done, but over time, kind of going through all my experiences, I've learned that, self-talk is huge. You have to do that with yourself every single time. So the videos that you guys are seeing now, I originally come from like the whole casino background. I don't want to go too deep into that because, we want to talk about Power Slap, but the casino background, and you have to kind of live disciplined when you're doing all those things. If you want to continue to walk away as a winner every single time from the table, you have to have a regiment. You have to be routines. You have to be disciplined in your craft, and I kind of carry that into this. It's more of like, when I speak motivational things like that, it's because I'm going through things in my life, and I know that when I'm speaking to the camera and I'm saying all those things, that's something that I would want to hear from somebody out there in the world, like looking from my perspective, just being, going through issues and problems just like anybody else. And I felt like it would just be a big thing for other people too. It's like, not to just, I'm always going to be the person who I am. I'm loving everybody. I care for everybody. I want to make sure everybody's doing good. I try to be as helpful as possible. But at the end of the day, you only can be that person in that moment for so long. And if you don't consistently hear those things out in the world or around you, then, people, they start to fall short of what they're doing. They're just kind of like, oh man, well, am I doing this right? Or is this the right thing to do? Even though if common sense tells you it's the right thing to do, some people don't practice it. So I feel like, putting my voice out there and being able to talk to people through Instagram and through social media, and just kind of be that motivational person for people that, they look and they hear me talking and they're like, man, what has that guy been through? Because he has a good head on his shoulder, and it's like, well, I've been through the same things that you guys been through, brother. And I'm at a point in my life that, because of those experiences, I get to speak on it. And all the videos that I post and I show to the world, I really show that to myself too. I watch my videos back and I'm like, man, when you said this, you should have been this way. And when you did this, you should have done this. And I really use it as a self-critique for myself too. I put it out there in the world so that way people can understand that I go through the same things that everybody else goes through, and that you can make that change. If you want to be a motivational speaker, you want to be somebody that influences other people, and for the right things like this, it's like you can do it too. You just got to put your mind to it, and then you really just look in yourself. What kind of message that you want to put out there in the world.
Yeah, I mean, you play a valuable role in fill a void that I think Dana always talks about combat sports athletes, generally coming from some sort of hardship, and so for them to be able to see one of their peers, across sports, forget just power slap, talk about any combat sport, for them to be able to see one of their peers talk about their experiences and being able to sort of give that knowledge off from a place of experience and overcoming those things, I think that it's really valuable, number one. And number two, obviously you earn that respect from your peers. I've never heard a bad thing about you from anyone, even people you've competed against. I should say we've never, because you don't see it. It just doesn't happen. And that's also very rare, right? Generally, you rub somebody the wrong way at some point. I can't think of a single person. Even Brendan Kerr hasn't said a word about you. He's only talking about, obviously his beef with your brother. But very exciting stuff. We can assume, just based on what we heard from Luke, Luke didn't want to give it up, but we can assume James was confirming it based on what was said on the show. So we can assume that your brother's in Abu Dhabi at Power Slap 9. We don't know an opponent, but if that's the case, will you be there with your brother rocking out? Not to compete or anything, but just in general.
So right now, I got the call for Abu Dhabi as well, but the thing is that, I have issues with my passport and being able to get over there. So I would love to be with my brother and being out there at the event, not even just like competing or anything else, but actually being out there with him and being able to support him. I would love it. I was there for the Power Slap 7, being able to, be there for him and support him in the best way I could. He's like he says every single time, man, he's a man, and he can take care of himself. I've seen him go through fights and be completely alone. And this is when we didn't have that relationship together. He was completely by himself a majority of the time. And so I know he's a strong dude, and I know that he'll go out there and he'll perform out there in Abu Dhabi and definitely put his name on the map. And but I'm always there with him, no matter what it is, whether it's physical, whether it's in spirit. And he knows it for sure. He's like, we carry that with each other. This big thing about like the Hawaiian culture too is like we have that connection, and it's like when you have that bloodline like that, it's like I can hear his thoughts. I know what he's thinking. I know what he's doing. So it's like it's weird to me at points in times where it's like, man, I can feel him. I know exactly where his heart is at, and I know what he's about to do when he goes out there to Abu Dhabi. So it's going to be amazing.
That's awesome, man. Well, as always, thank you so much for joining us. You have a home here at Slap News anytime, man. You're a class act. You're a leader. You're an inspirational person. You're a motivator. So thank you. Despite it not going your way tonight, congratulations on a great season, and obviously earning yourself a platform that people really look to for hope and for motivation to overcome their obstacles. Any parting words, man, for the community?
Yeah. Everybody out there, all the season 3 fighters, everybody that's in the sport right now is like, just keep on doing you guys in the best way that you can. Be the best version of yourself and just continue to keep on focusing. Even all the guys that that didn't make it through. Look, you guys are gonna have an opportunity. It's not your last. You got to just keep on putting that out there in the world and putting it out there in the universe and just continue to keep on pushing. It's like, that's the biggest thing, is that the more you work on yourself, the more you're going to start seeing results. The more you see results in yourself, the more other people will see results out there in the world too. So everybody's got an open eye and everybody's watching. So don't ever doubt yourself. I have a lot of mixed messages from other people, coming in and just like, you know what? It's like, man, I don't know what's going on and what's going to happen, and it's like, hey man, you just got to believe. just keep on believing in yourself, keep on doing what you're doing, keep on being positive in the world, you know, and just and really put yourself out there, because you know sooner or later somebody's gonna make that call. Somebody's gonna want you to be there, you know, whether it's Power Slap, whether it's the platform, whether it's, you know, helping somebody out else in the world, you know. It's like this sport has, you know, if you can believe it, a lot of like mental health awareness, man. It's like people are going through stuff every single day. People are just crushing themselves down, and it's like we, you know, I think as we progress through this and we become more of that, you know, community and that Power Slap family, that we'd be able to help each other out. And we've been seeing good things, you know, like Nate Bernard doing his things, trying to help out with the kids and go back out there and with the shoes. And now Raiden doing the whole boys club and girls club thing, and just kind of really reaching out there and, you know, being vulnerable, putting yourself out there and being able to, you know, share the message and really do good for yourself, you know. Then that's the key thing. It's like the more good you do out there in the world, the better you're going to be.
Awesome, Pono. Appreciate you, my man. I'm going to make one prediction. I think you rank at number 9 when the rankings come out next week. That's where I think you'll be, my dude. Yeah. So we'll see.
I hope you're right.
Yeah. And then you can send me that I told you so. How's that, my man? Take care,
For
dude.
sure.
Appreciate you.
Of course. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a good night.
See ya. All right, my man. Keep on rolling through. I know you had some parting words as we were going here. Power Slap has been dropping some alpha on us. Dan, you want to get
hold on. Whoa.
Not there yet?
Look at that. We are on for Power Slap 10 in Vegas.
Who's that?
That's Joshua Newsom. So looking forward to it, man. That'd be awesome.
Interesting. So he's not in Abu Dhabi.
Does not sound like it. No, they're not for the lightweight title. A couple of things. One, appreciate you guys for sticking around. Obviously, a longer show as we finishing up the season. I'm actually surprised this was the last episode. We didn't know that going in. I thought that there would be 12. I wasn't necessarily paying attention to what fighters we haven't seen twice or anything like that. But cool nuggets that we got throughout the show tonight. Power Slap Miami is a 100% for 2025. We don't obviously have a date, but Dana confirmed in the chat on the official Power Slap account on Rumble that's 100% going to happen in 2025. So one of those fights at minimum will be in Miami at the Fontainebleau property in 2025. So that's massive. Additionally, he confirmed there will be more events next year than there have been these past 2 years in 2025. So our hunch, based on our little mathematical equation we did, was correct. But he also confirmed more. I would hope 6 is not more. All right, I'm hoping we're talking more than just 6, which is our original prediction just based on math. So that's incredible. While we were live, we got, as Fap alluded to, we got Bovair versus McGregor officially announced. And ironically enough, Conor McGregor shared it, man.
Amazing. Do you think that's main card worthy?
What's that?
The
fight? Lightweights?
Yeah. McGregor Bovair.
Do I think it's main card worthy? I mean, they're both great performers. I just think that there's more talent we're going to see on this that'll probably take the main card. In another world, maybe not on 9. I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, we got.
What are you thinking?
We got the 2 title fights. We get the Van Zandt fight. We get the Austin Turpin fight. Could they be trying to parlay the next superstar? Is all I'm thinking. Maybe, like it potentially. Obviously, we don't know who else is going to be on this particular card, but there is that potential that they could highlight. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the order we got it. Obviously, DeCrazy versus Dumpling being the main event. John. Isaiah below it. Paige Van Zandt will be the third last fight. I wouldn't be sorry. Austin Turpin, Russell Rivera be the third last fight. Paige Van Zandt being the second card on that main card, and I could see McGregor and Bovair getting in there as well. I think they think very highly of both these strikers, so I wouldn't be too surprised because I also think it's a way that you hype up a title fight in the future in the way that you get these guys in front of a ton of eyeballs, especially internationally. And Lakuka's calling me out on it too, but maybe a little Canadian bias.
McGregor versus McGregor slap. Look, man, I'm it's interesting that he picked up on that. I mean, he's pretty quick to share it Obviously, a guy with the same last name as him. Very interesting the way that whole thing unfolded, but exciting stuff, man. Obviously we get the Paige Van Zandt nugget, and now we know why because they announced it on the show. We know that she's fighting Chelsea Dodson, who, to my knowledge, isn't necessarily a combat sport athlete, but she is the wife of the former UFC flyweight John Dodson. So there's some relatively closeness to all of this.
Mm-hmm.
That flinch was the worst I have seen. I'm assuming he's talking about Amir.
Yeah, I would assume so.
The man.
Actually, I got a bit of an update for you too. It's looking like Leaf trading cards going to be coming December. The last update that I heard from the guys at Leaf was December. We're going to get those trading cards ready to rock and roll. Being told around that $80 price point is what they're expecting at retail, American dollars. And December is seemingly the new release date for that. Okay, any more information, we'll definitely let you guys know.
Man, this is the gift that keeps on giving. We just dropped tons of nuggets. It's good stuff. I'm disappointed the season's over, but onwards and upwards, my friend.
100%. All right, Ding. We are an hour and 16 in. Until next week, stay good, my man. We'll keep the planning coming along, and we'll unveil for you guys all in the coming weeks about our plan. As you know, we've talked about it. We're going to be there in Abu Dhabi. We'll let you know the content schedule, what's going to be coming from us, what we're going to be doing, and bring you guys unprecedented coverage. Appreciate you all for making it this far. Until next time, take care, my man.